Here's a letter to the editor that actually was published. It has to do with liberty and justice for all. Dear editor, I would appreciate knowing if Senator Casey, Toomey, and Congressman Marino have thought about why only some people are getting exemptions from mandatory Obamacare. What happened to the concept of equal treatment under the law? How can the law give special privileges to some citizens and not others? To me, the thought of being forced to be a slave to the insurance companies and to King Obama is a revolting thought. We all know that mandatory vaccinations are the next thing which will be forced upon us as if we were cattle. My moral and philosophical and religious beliefs are just as valid and worthy of any exemption as anyone else. The presumption of guilt in this law also disgusts me. I am deemed to be a burden on society prior to being a burden on society. Why not just jail all the poor people with the assumption that if they are poor, then they will steal? I am being asked to buy insurance for mainstream treatments which I would never willing to submit to. I'd rather die a few years earlier as a free man than live a little longer as a slave to Obama and medical and insurance establishment. We all have time, our time under the sun. I want mine not as a slave. Joseph DuPont. Obviously, Obama has been working the system and trying to intimidate the Supreme Court into acquiescing and pushing for mandatory health insurance. Hopefully, the Supreme Court will hold its ground and not force me to be a slave and to only have standard treatments for things. I don't know if you're familiar that according to the New York Times, 50% of the doctors would not take chemotherapy. Now, does that tell you anything at all? I just was reading about intravenous vitamin C therapy for cancer, and apparently it's quite effective. Kills cancer cells and doesn't hurt the other cells. A unique idea. So I want to use my money to buy healthy food and take care of myself the way I want to, and be willing to sign a waiver that I will not accept treatments from the hospital if I'm not able to pay for it. I think that my resources should be able to go to who I want it to go to if I want to make sure my kids get it and not undergo some sort of long drawn out exercise in futility on certain medical treatments. That should be my right as an American citizen. But Obama, who we know nothing about, whose parents hated the United States, is now apparently getting even for his parents, I guess, because he's done everything to destroy this country, everything to weaken us economically. He hangs around with radicals, even in his cabinet. We can't survive 4 more years of Obama. We have to vote for whoever the Republican nominee is, and we really have to understand that we got to keep pressure on both the Republicans and Democrats. I think that's the reason why the Tea Party is taking so much of a hit, because of the fact that they haven't been bought out. I mean, we have not gotten to where we have gotten just because of the Democrats, just because of Obama. But he's a nice key to this whole thing, and we got to keep pressure on to get our government back. We got to get rid of the Federal Reserve. There's a whole bunch of stuff we have to do, and maybe it's too late. Maybe it can't be done, but we already know that the Associated Press is a propaganda tool for Obama. The chairman of the Associated Press already told us that he's gung-ho for Obama. And if you see the most recent, all the news, it's all pro-Obama. There's nothing anti-Obama, it's just pro-Obama news. There is always a positive slant, and this came to my mind when the Associated Press was saying how wonderful it was that we have more debt than ever. That debt's a good thing. It shows confidence in the economy. They don't look at it as a sense of frustration and desperation. That's what it is when people go into debt more and more and more. Anyhow, that's the story. Take care. Happy Easter.